Good morning, welcome back to Cooking with Dad NM, and I think this is our first morning video of the year, and in our new house.
No, I'm not sure. Go ahead.
So yeah, I'm not really sure either, because we probably haven't done a morning video in months, so what we're going to be cooking is really good. We've had it before, so let's get started.
Hi, good morning. So I know I said last night, I was saying we would do approximately 8 o'clock, and it's 8:30 now, so we're close. I had cleaning up to do in the kitchen, so we're good. All right. So like he said, we've done this recipe a few times before, and it's...
Sorry.
Uh-oh, sweep it up. Sorry. Ooh, that was a rosemary. Okay, no biggie. So yeah, we've done this recipe a few times before, and it's come out very good. And it's a favorite for the morning, that and the crepes. But this one's easy. Oh, Gabriel dropped something accidentally.
Did it break?
Yeah, accidentally.
Let me see. Rosemary?
Yeah, rosemary.
Oh, it's on the floor.
I know, it was an accident, don't worry. You just bumped into it. Alright, so.
Sorry about that.
I know, it's an accident, don't worry about it.
I did not see that.
Okay, just make sure you get all the stuff on that side, because there's no piece of glass on that side too.
Okay.
Technical difficulties, excuse me. Right back. Let me see. What, Lacey? Okay. Morning. Yeah, it's very good. Give it a shot. All right, so let me show you what we got for the recipe in the morning. Okay, there's a video for it on the link, but it's pumpkin French toast. Okay, there's a picture of it down here at the bottom. That's pretty much the only picture aside from the video. But click the link on the video if you want to watch them make it. So what you're going to need on this one, it's broken up into two segments. For one segment for the French toast itself, and then you have another segment for the butter, the pumpkin butter. I gotta recommend, if you do make this, use the pumpkin butter, because the pumpkin butter to go with the pumpkin French toast is like a really, really good combination. All that extra pumpkin flavor on your toast is like so good. So I recommend using the pumpkin butter as well. All right, so what you're gonna need is 4 eggs beaten, a 3/4 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of pumpkin puree, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, just a pinch of salt, 1 loaf of brioche bread, 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter divided. Now, as far as a pumpkin puree goes, I usually just go with this stuff, the canned pumpkin. The stuff that you use in pumpkin pie. That stuff works perfect for something like this. The consistency of that stuff is really what it needs to be. So just get the canned pumpkin. Should be less than $1 a can. I had to go run to the store yesterday evening because I forgot to buy some. And, like I said, less than $1. Alright, so there's the rest of my ingredients right there. Here is my brioche bread. The bread by itself is just really good because it has a little bit of a sweetness to it, which is really good. And you mix it in with all the other stuff with the pumpkin and the French toast mix batter. And it tastes a hell of a lot better using the brioche bread than just regular white or wheat bread. So it makes a big difference. I think I made it one time before without the brioche bread, and it comes out good, but it just doesn't have the same taste to it as it does with the brioche bread. Right, Gabriel?
Yeah, that's right.
You like the brioche bread a lot better?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's get to the ingredient stuff here. Okay. Now for the pumpkin butter, you're going to need 4 tablespoons of butter, slightly softened. 2 tablespoons of the same pumpkin puree, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 1/4 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, a pinch of salt, powdered sugar for dusting, and a little extra maple syrup for drizzling after everything is made. Now, as far as the instructions go, in a shallow baking dish, whisk your eggs, milk, pumpkin puree, vanilla, pumpkin pie spice, and a pinch of salt, which is what we've got right over here. This is all of our batter for the pumpkin pie bread, pumpkin bread, French toast, whatever you want to call it. Having a moment right now. So there's that. Place bread slices into a pumpkin mixture and let soak about 30 seconds per side. Okay, so here's our bread. I'm going to put that end piece off to the side for right now. Alright, so I got some pieces of bread ready. We're probably going to end up using the whole loaf of bread, maybe. Turn that on. In a large non-stick skillet over medium and low heat, melt 1 tablespoon of butter. Cook 2 slices of bread at a time until golden, 3 to 4 minutes per slice. Now, usually when I make this, I use this pan. It's a rectangular, it's a square non-stick skillet, non-stick pan. I can fit 4 slices of the bread on here to help make it go faster. I know it says in a skillet use 2, but I'm using this thing and it cooks and it fits 4 slices of bread on there. So we'll use that, make it move along faster. Alright, so I got the butter on there. I'm going to let that melt. Spread that butter, please. Yeah, man. Get in this thing. Trade you. Make sure you have it. Try to cover every piece, every little bit. You can use the edge. Yeah, just like that. Try to go from edge to edge. All the edges too. Alright, so I have a piece of bread in here soaking and ready to go. I'm just going to let that warm up a little bit before we move on. Again, cook until golden, roughly 3 to 4 minutes per side. Repeat to cook on all slices of bread. Still warm. Not even warm yet where it needs to be. All right, in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start making some of the butter. Okay, to make the pumpkin butter, in a medium bowl, whip softened butter with the pumpkin puree, maple syrup, pumpkin spice, a pinch of salt until light and fluffy. So for that, I'm gonna need 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, slightly softened, 2 tablespoons of the pumpkin puree, teaspoon, tablespoon, allergies. Okay, let me come back to this. I'll get back to the butter in a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna put my first slice of the bread on here. Now it says let the bread soak in here for roughly 30 seconds. You can if you want to. That way all the bread soaks up as much of the batter as it can. Just dunk it in there if you want to as well. Alright, so that, as you can see, like I said, this pan is big enough to fit 4 slices. So, it should help speed everything up a little bit. So I'm just gonna let that sit there for a couple until the underside browns a little bit. I'll check it here in a couple minutes and see how it's progressing. In the meantime, let's start in the butter. So I got my 4 tablespoons of butter already in there, slightly softened. Let me get my pumpkin puree. Okay, step 3, softened butter, pumpkin syrup, pumpkin spice, and a pinch of salt. So I need 2 tablespoons of syrup, 1/4 teaspoon of the pumpkin pie spice. I need to take off the little seal off of the syrup since this is a new bottle. Okay, 2 teaspoons, 2 tablespoons of syrup. Okay. Pinch of salt. And then 1/4 teaspoon of the pumpkin pie spice. There's that right there. All right, do me a favor, go ahead and whip that up, please. All right, so Gabriel's gonna work on the butter for right now. Get that, shake it on the bowl. That way, no, yeah, there you go. That way you get that piece of butter. There you go. Just like that. You don't need to push down too hard, okay?
Okay.
All right, so these things are cooking. I'm gonna check it just a little bit here and see what the underside looks like. Let me borrow your hand real quick. Hold this. Uh-oh. Okay. So So there's one of it right there. That one is almost to the color that we're looking for. I'll probably flip them back in a little bit and get the other side cooked a little more. Stuck. Thank you. All right, so they got a little bit of a golden brown color. I'm probably gonna flip them over again and cook them on the other side a little more. But in the meantime, let's come back to the butter. Again, real quick. Thank you. All right, so here is our butter all nice and whipped up and ready to go. Stir that just a little more, please. Yeah, so when you're stirring the butter, all you're trying to do is just get into a nice whipped, a whipped texture. You don't want it to be as melted. You don't want it to look too melted. You want it to have a nice fluffy texture to it. That way, when you put it on your bread, it just looks like a nice lump of ice cream almost. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're good with that. Go ahead and put the whisk in the sink. Rinse it off. Thank you. In the meantime, I got these ones in here. Let me go ahead and put some more bread in this and let that soak just a wee bit. Let me borrow your hand again. All right, let's flip these bad boys over and see what they look like. Ah, there we go. That's the color. Ah, there we go. That's the color we're looking for right there. So I'm going to let this cook on the other side for just a little bit, maybe a little less than a minute. But when you're cooking your French toast, this is pretty much the color that you're looking for. You got the nice little spots of darkness here. That's what you were looking for with that. And then come back to our butter. See the nice whipped, fluffy texture on this? That's what we are looking for with our butter. And that tastes really good. Go ahead.
Want a piece?
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
There you go.
Thank you.
I'll give a piece to Lacey.
Yeah. Mmm. Oh, that's good. All right. Let me borrow you again. All right, so I'm going to take these off. These look like they're done. Hold it. There we go. Okay, lift it up. Hold on. Screw this. Flip that into the trash. Not the pan, just the little bits. Okay. Bless you. Hold on. Don't put it on yet. Here, move it back. No, move it back. Okay, now put it on. Thank you. All right, so I put a little bit of the nonstick spray on there. Bless you. Okay, now when you're soaking your bread, you don't want to leave it in there too long. Any longer than 30 seconds to a minute, and it's going to come out very soggy. And you don't want it to fall apart when you're putting it on your pan and trying to flip it. Because then you're going to end up with a mess, and you don't need that happening with French toast. So just a little bit of a soak with this is enough. I mean, even if you want to, you don't have to leave it in there for the full 30 seconds. As you see, I'm just getting it in there enough to coat both sides, and that is it. But do not leave it in there for an extended period of time, because you do not want your bread to be too soggy and too flimsy. Just soak it up enough, let it drip off. There we go. On the fridge, please. All right, while we are waiting for those to cook, I'm gonna go ahead and start getting this ready. All right, come back to this. Pinch of salt. Okay, step 3, make pumpkin butter in a medium bowl. Whip softened butter with pumpkin, maple syrup, pumpkin spice. Pinch of salt until light and fluffy. You saw that over there. Top French toast with a little bit of pumpkin butter, sprinkle with powdered sugar, and drizzle with maple syrup. All right. Being that I have some of these ready, I'm going to go ahead and assemble it. So there's a French toast right there. Here's my butter. Just a wee bit of butter. Oh, untie the powdered sugar, please. Thank you. Okay, so just a little sprinkle, nothing too much. Thank you. All right, so we got our little sprinkle of powdered sugar on there. You got our butter. Just a little dab of syrup. And there we go. She is done. Okay, so I got 4 more ready to go. Go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we get one more look at that. Doesn't that look awesome? It does, doesn't it? All right, so I still have more bread to make. I still have more French toast to make here, but I'm gonna go ahead and finish that since we're already done with the first plate. I gotta flip these anyway, but I will attach pictures and I will attach a link to the recipe here in a few minutes. Hope you guys have a good Sunday morning. I will talk to you soon. We will talk to you soon. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.